Minsu sat quietly in her room, staring at the DNA results in her hands. The truth was in front of her now. There was no running from it. Sooner or later she had to face it. Still, she wasn't ready to confront the past, even though countless questions burned inside her. Why had her birth mother given her away? What had she looked like? Why now? She felt guilty, realizing that her sister had been right in front of her all along, and she hadn't recognized her. The weight of it all sat heavy on her chest. Sunjin walked into the room and sat beside her. Wrapping his arms around her gently, he asked if she was okay. Minsu shook her head and quietly whispered that she wasn't. Concerned, Sunjin asked what was going on. He had thought she'd be happy, especially since she had just graduated. Without saying a word, Minsu handed him the document. Sunjin took it, scanning every word with care. He then looked back at her, confused, and asked what it all meant. Minsu took a breath and explained that her parents had given her the results and told her they had found her biological sister, the same Yarren who had always looked at her strangely. That gaze now made sense. Yarren was her sister. Sunjin sat in stunned silence for a while. Eventually, he asked what she planned to do and whether she had spoken to Yarren. Minsu shook her head. She hadn't. She didn't even know where to begin. She confessed that she didn't know whether discovering the truth was a blessing or a burden. She had never questioned her past growing up. Her adoptive parents had been loving and kind. She had no reason to search for anything more, never expecting that one day it would all catch up to her. Sunjin took her hands in his and told her gently that the decision was hers to make. Whatever she chose to do, he promised to support her and stay by her side. Minsu looked at him with a faint smile and thanked him sincerely. Sunjin pulled her gently onto the bed, holding her close. He looked into her eyes and whispered that it had been a long day. They should try to rest before the baby woke up. Minsu lay in his arms, her mind still tangled in thoughts about what steps to take next. The following morning, Wuben sat in his office, scrolling through his phone. Dozens of unread messages from Yarren filled the screen. She had been trying to contact him. But to him, things were better this way. Their deal was done. He had fulfilled his promise. Now it was time to let go. He only hoped that Minsu and Yarren would meet and talk, and that some sort of healing could begin. Just then, his mother walked into the office. Her expression was unreadable. Standing in front of his desk, she asked directly if the rumors she had heard were true. Wuben looked up and nodded. His mother expressed her disbelief. He had just returned from Norway, and now he wanted to take a full year off from work. Wuben stood and walked over to her. Calmly, he explained that since he had taken over the company, things had only improved. The growth projections and profits spoke for themselves. There weren't many urgent projects left, and he believed it was the right time to take a break. His mother looked at him thoughtfully. Deep down, she knew he was right. Since he had taken over, the company had grown stronger. Still, concerned, she asked what he planned to do during this year off. Wuben replied that it had been a long time since he had traveled, something he used to love. He wanted to visit different countries again, clear his mind, and rediscover his peace. His mother narrowed her eyes and asked him if he truly wanted to travel, or if he was simply running away from life, avoiding things he didn't want to face. She moved closer, her voice softer now. She reminded him that she knew him better than anyone, and that whenever things became difficult, he had a habit of escaping instead of confronting them. Wuben let out a small laugh and assured her that he wasn't running from anything. He just needed a long break, that's all. He hoped she would understand and allow him this year off. After a long pause, his mother finally nodded. She agreed, but only on the condition that he return after the year was up. Wuben thanked her and promised that he would. She took his hands in hers, telling him she hoped the travel would help him find clarity. No matter what, she would always be there for him. She wished him the best and walked out, leaving Wuben standing alone in the office. He thought about how traveling had always brought him peace. Maybe, just maybe, it really was the best option now. As he stood there lost in thought, his phone rang. It was Yarren. This time he answered.